So this is Casey Glass for Worship Synths, and this is part 2 of our tutorial on creating Ian McIntosh's Verby lead. And so again, there'll be a link below to Ian's tutorial where he discusses his version of this patch, which has been widely recorded and heard. And again, the thing about Ian is he works almost entirely within reason, which is pretty cool, unless you don't have reason. And then we need to kind of try to ape his patches the best we can with other software. So in the previous tutorial, I looked at recreating this same sound in ES2. I would say we didn't nail it exactly, but we got pretty close, and hopefully you guys can work with that and get even better. Now we're going to try and do an Omnisphere. So for those of you who aren't on Mac, you also can have a crack at this. And so let me just go ahead and load up Omnisphere. Again, for our reference, we're trying to do something kind of like this. All right, so kind of, it's got kind of a little bite to it, but it's not too much. It's really kind of a neat sound. I really do like it. I wish that I had the imagination to create such things, but instead, I'll try to copy, because those who can't make, copy. And so here we're going to open up Omnisphere, and we just have kind of a default empty patch. If I played it, it would be terribly uncomfortable to hear, so we'll just go, it's awful. So we don't want to do that, which I'll have to ask Eric why it loads up with something so unpleasant. But anyway, so really we're going to go right to the editor. And again, this is really just stacked square waves. So in the editor window, we start either on the sample side, where we can go find a sample to make this out of, or we can use Omnisphere's built-in synthesizer. So Omnisphere is really cool. It's got multiple oscillator synthesis built in. And what we're going to do is go for saw square bright. And we can change the shape to make it a little bit more square wavy. You hear that just, it sounds cold. That's, in my mind, that's odd harmonics. Someone will come along and tell me that's not really what I'm hearing, but that's what it sounds like to me. And then we can make it, more or less symmetrical. On this end, we have very kind of square wave. And we're not going to worry about syncing it. We're not going to change its phase. What we do want to do is have more of these. So hold on here. We want to make sure our filter's not doing anything, because we don't want to mess with that just yet. Mods is fine. Amplifier envelope, again, we want to have a little bit more attack time so that we don't click at the beginning of the sound. So we're going to do just a little bit. 0.2 is good. Sustain volume all the way up. Release, again, not quite instantly off. That's good. That's pretty good. All right. So again, we just have that one wave, and what we need is multiple waves. So let's go to multiple and turn on the harmonia. So harmonia is cool. We can have, up to 4 different oscillators, and we can even go in there and turn them into other kinds of oscillators. So all I did was hit the magnifying glass on harmonia, and we can come in here. We control the level of each of the oscillators, the pitch tuning, the shape of each of the oscillators in sync, and right now it's just going to repeat whatever we already picked for the main oscillator. So we are going to close this out, and we could use the presets here. Let's see here. What kind of interval are we looking at? All right. And we can kind of detune these just a touch. Bam, bam. So we're close. I would say that the Omnisphere synth, compared to what we were doing in the previous tutorial in ES2, has a little bit more of a hard edge to it. So now we need to put in our filter. So we're going to turn the filter section on, and we got all kinds of filters that we can pick. I think I did the low pass filter, juicy. I think I just did juicy 24. Yeah. Now the cutoff's all the way down, so we're gonna have to. All right, and then we'll turn the resonance up. Could turn that down a little bit. That just high-end ringing is the filter resonating. All right. And then again, we need some glide. So let's turn it up a little bit. And you're just going to have to play with that till you get to what feels good to you. And again, that's not, you know, super great. So let's go to the effects. And in this case, we're going to go ahead and make these common effects. We could go ahead and put them in, you know, each part can have up to 4 effects as well. So we're going to just start over here. And we know Ian loves to use tape compression, so we can go ahead and hit a little bit of that. That little wow and flutter gives a little modulation to the sound. And then again, it's mostly just about the reverb. So we're going to add a proverb, totally wet. And then make a, turn the pre-delay off. So the pre-delay, let's just look at that for a second. If we turn it way up, if it's all the way wet, all you're doing is delaying the sound. So you can't necessarily tell because you can't see the keyboard, but that sound is kicking in a long time after I hit the key. You'll be able to hear it better if we go half and half. So you almost get an echo. So if we're going all the way wet, first of all, that's not helping us. And second of all, we're trying to make the reverb the sound. So we'll just turn that all the way off. And all we're really going to get then is the reverb. And we'll turn the density up. And turn the highs down. And I like diffusion up. What I'm doing is overloading the tape slammer. And perhaps we need to lower that cutoff a little bit. And maybe I don't love this so much. So instead, let's do this. Let's turn that up to there. And let's cut it a little bit. And that's not too bad. So let's say we're almost there. Let me see here. Let's go ahead and we could add a little pre-delay here. That sounds not too bad. So let's compare to our reference here. A little more bite than we're getting. It's almost too nice. Let's see. That's closer. Glide. That's more like it. And I think that our Verby lead down here that we do with ES2 is a little bit more bitey because here we're using square waves, whereas if we could get something a little bit more pulse wavy, and that might be it. So you can see here that the peak time is less, and so if the peak time is less with our pulse waves, then we'll get something with a little bit more edge on it. I like that one very much. So there we go, guys. A Verby lead in Omni and in ES2. Please leave your comments below. Give it a shot. Let's see Ian's tutorial. Start with what I've showed you here and show me how you can do better than me. So please, again, it's Casey Glass for Worship Synths, and thank you very much.